good in the web? This is your boy Q back again with some of that Geek News. So after a long-awaited, and I mean long-awaited hiatus, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and all of the other little subsidiary Dragon Ball stuff minus GT. Even though he had input in GT, we don't talk about GT, has finally decided to rebirth Broly at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. And let me just tell you, that damn near broke the internet. It was almost as popular or as big of a deal as it was in that death battle where Goku fought against Superman, and all the people from DC and comic heads was against all the people with the anime and against the anime heads. But Broly has been one of the most popular Dragon Ball villains since, well, he came back on the 8th movie, or he came in on the 8th movie in the 90s. I want to say 94ish, 95. But anyway, this new movie will take up the name Super for the first time. And from the trailer and the not so straight to the point quotes from Akira Toriyama, what it seems like is that this new movie is going to be a whole new origin story for Broly, while borrowing a little piece from this movie and a little piece from that movie and another piece from the other movies that Broly was in, which I personally don't think is a bad thing, because those 90s movies were a little outdated, and at the strength level that Goku and Vegeta and damn near all the other villains, even Frieza's golden now, so it's cooler. This is going to be good for Broly. In the original movies, Broly had a hate for Goku, mainly because when they were little, they were like in the same crib together, and Goku kept Broly crying, which, you know, was kind of a little weak plot point at the time, which I see why Akira Toriyama might want to rejuggle some of the origin, because when you really take a seat and think about it, if you've seen any other movies, the person that Broly should have really been wanting to take out and was really angry about was Vegeta, whose father, King Vegeta, tried to have him, Broly, and his father, Broly's father, killed because he was the legendary Saiyan and was born with like a 10,000 power level. Remember power level? They don't talk about power levels anymore. We finally are probably going to get a chance to see him in the main canon of the series. Like, I know I'm just hopefully wishing it, and Akira Toriyama has not yet to come out and say anything, but he hasn't said that wasn't going to happen. What he did say was he rewatched all of the first 3 movies, and he wanted to kind of incorporate a whole new story, because he realizes that Broly is not only popular in Japan, but he's also popular in the West. The movie looks great, and the style, well, I'm still not completely sold on this art style. It kind of has that old Tree of Might, old Dragon Ball Z grunge art style, but I understand why they're doing that, because Broly is an older character and they're trying to incorporate a new style with him in the story while still trying to keep it to that particular old feel. That doesn't bother me too much. What I want to know though is, does Broly turn Super Saiyan Blue? Because from the looks of it, he's smashing and kicking Goku and Vegeta's ass just regular Broly. Also know a lot of people are really upset about Broly's whole new look, because he looks a little thinner, and then he does have like some visible marks and things that you know he didn't have in the first one, and then he's dressed more like I don't want to say an urban Saiyan, but he's dressed more like a beastly Saiyan from back in the day, which I personally don't mind. I mean, hell, if the story is wrapped up tight, I don't really care as much about the art style or as much about what he's wearing, mainly because I really want to see how Broly's going to be going to have to be and if they do put Broly in this series, just how many episodes will it be able to stretch it out, and will it be a 25 episode arc, kind of like the Resurrection F was, or I don't know. I'm just like super excited because, you know what, I've been asking and praying to the Super Saiyan gods for years now to have Broly return, and he's returning, he's here, and he might be here in the series next year. So fingers crossed, or I should say tails crossed for that one. The movie releases in Japan on December 14th, which is this year, so Merry Christmas to all of us in America, even though we still not going to get a dub yet. And the dub edition will be, or is rumored to be, in the States at the movie theaters sometime in January. This next story's got me feeling more than a little bit dated, more than a little old. And for a quote-unquote girl show at the time, I really liked it. Netflix has just picked up the rights to recreate a reimagining of She-Ra. And when I say reimagining, I mean, well, they're going to make a whole new origin for the show, which, you know what, is not such a bad thing, but get used to it. That's like the whole theme for the day. In the original story, She-Ra was the twin sister Adora of Prince Adam, better known as He-Man, who was kidnapped by Hardrock, the leader of the evil horde, who escaped with her from Eternia to Ethra. In other words, united we stand, divided we fall. Hardrock and Skeletor did not want the two power twins to come at them with full force, which they end up doing in a special which featured She-Ra. In the new reimagining, Adora leaves behind a former life with the evil horde. She discovers a magical sword which can transform her into the warrior princess She-Ra. Adora sets out to unite a magical group of princesses in the ultimate fight against evil. Of course, it's an ultimate fight against evil. I mean, it's a cartoon. I actually like this new story, and it seems like the writers were taking something away from the original story. Well, the original story set by the creators, which had She-Ra or Adora actually being the captain of the evil horde's group, but later on they decided it would have been better by making her the twin sister of He-Man. What I'm wondering here is this going to be setting up something for a new He-Man show that's going to come out? I mean, that would be nice, especially if it was on par with the reimagining, the new Thundercats that came out in 2011. I'm not talking about that new Thundercats that's going to be coming out later this year, next year, the one that's like a mix between Adventure Time and Steven Universe, which I like Steven Universe, but they have an art style that fits great for them, but not great for the Thundercats. I'm really curious if this is going to be a precursor for He-Man and then they can do some kind of crossover. I mean, I know everybody's really upset about how some of the, you know, the art style and things look for this She-Ra, but speaking of the new Thundercats, we can't trip too hard because, damn, I mean, at least the art does not look like that, and the story seems like it's going to be pretty fresh. It's going to get, damn, I went way back. I'm talking about the 90s. But the story looks like it's going to be pretty legit, and paired with the art style, which is better than most cartoon art styles as of now, it's not bad. So I'm going to give it a chance. I would suggest you give it a chance too, especially if you try to do some otaku and chill, you know what I mean? Put it on, yada yada yada, blah blah yakety schmackety. Lately, I've been wanting to catch up on my anime, but between video games and the Comic-Cons, and I'm just recovering from E3 and all of that jazz, I haven't really had a chance. Not to mention, I just bought Octopath Traveler not too long ago, and let me just say, the game is A1 saucy so far. I'm on chapter 1. I have to get my last character, which is Hanat, which is the girl who's in the jungle, who's the monster hunter, who seems pretty badass. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is Octopath Traveler was #1 in Japan last week. That's right. I mean, this is something I didn't even expect. Octopath Traveler surprised not only me, but apparently a whole lot of other people as well. Japanese sales were just released last week, and Octopath Traveler showed up and showed out, selling over 110,000 units since its initial launch. And here I was starting to think that gamers only really cared about graphics and first-person shooters. But, you know what? Y'all proving me wrong. Not to say that Square Enix's new 2D, 3D adventure is ugly. In fact, it's the complete opposite. The game is straight gorgy, homie. Blending and moving 3D animations mixed with 2D sprites and a story-driven world is exactly what we needed to break the monotony of this summer game. And this is a great win, not only for Nintendo, but also for Square Enix, who have been a little chummy lately, and they've been so chummy that Square Enix has gone so far to create a separate Nintendo division led by Bravely Default producer Toyama Osano. There's still no definite list of Switch games at the moment that Square Enix is going to be producing. If the success of Octopath Traveler continues, let me just say this. Not only is it a win-win for Nintendo and a win-win for Square Enix, but even more importantly, it's a win-win for us as gamers who have been waiting for Square Enix to get off his damn high horse and actually start making games again and stop with the damn ports and cell phone games. Dissidia is cool, y'all, but can we get a Final Fantasy game that's an actual Final Fantasy game? Do I have to call up my man Hanaru Sakagachi and be like, bro, hey, my dude, like, hey, I know you working on Last Story 2. I know you working on the Last Story 2. I know. That's gonna be clean. Switch exclusive. I get it. But they killing your franchise. I know you stepped away, but you might have to step back in, bro. Like, for real. Come on. And can you bring some new IPs with you, too? One good thing about the summer, other than the bikinis, and the shorts, is the fact that we have Anime Expo that out in the summer, Fanime, which is out in the summer, E3, and recently just San Diego Comic-Con. And with all of the Shazam movies, Aquaman, and the DC takeover that Comic-Con had this year, not to mention Walking Dead news, and even some Dragon Ball Super movie Brawly news, which damn near broke the internet, we kind of forgot about Star Wars. Yeah, that's right. They're back. And when I said that this was going to be a video about things making resurgences, or it's going to be like a regenesis thing, I wasn't lying. But this story has a twist. Star Wars is not going to be coming back to Cartoon Network. Yeah, you guessed it. Yeah, come on now. Star Wars is going to be a course on Disney XD. Coincidence? The show is reportedly coming back with 12 episodes to complete the series, and Disney, of course, is very happy to show off some of the footage at this year's Comic-Con. And I mean, it looks good. It looks really good. A lot better than the old one did. More sharper and even a little darker in tone. Anakin still looks like he whines a little bit, but he's, swole up a little bit more. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin still have that whole rivalry tension. You're my brother, but you're my master. You're my Padawan. I hate you. I love you, but I don't want nothing to happen to you. They still got that going on, and I actually like that dynamic. And I actually, out of the prequels, the first movies, Clone Wars is actually my favorite. It showed a love story, and it showed exactly, which a lot of people wasn't expecting, the clone troopers to actually be somewhat of like an Asian American descent, or not to be white clone troopers, which a lot of people was tripping off of Finn back in the day. But nobody likes to talk about that most of the clone troopers ain't white either. But again, that's a story for another day. Don't know exact release date just yet, but it's speculated that the series should be dropping sometime in 2019, which is perfect for me because I fell off mid season 3 around that time. It got a little low for me, and I I just had so many other things to watch and play that I kind of left it. But before I jump into this, which is going to be the ending, I do want to catch up and finish the rest of the series because I like the whole story of Star Wars more than I like Star Wars, if that makes sense. You already know that is Meme Monday. Yeah, I know, it's meme, but I like to say Meme. And I have something that had me rolling the first time I saw it. And no, it's not a meme, it's a video, but get off my back, relax. You gonna laugh, because I laughed.
Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding?
And they need some kind of fat injection or something because life is looking hard out there on the person. They need to worry about Kiki loving them. They need to worry about malnutrition. They need to worry about malnutrition and bones breaking. But as always, in the web, this has been your boy Q, your friendly neighborhood geek. If you did like this video, please make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. I do videos all the time. And you want to stay up to date? Please, look, the bell's right there. You ain't came this far, you might as well hit it. And remember, in the web, before I leave, you know I gotta say this. Make sure you eat, geek, sleep, repeat. And until next time, I'll holler at y'all later. Deuces.